As the clock ticked away in the silence of the house, my heart raced with an unsettling anticipation. My husband was at work, oblivious to the storm brewing just beyond the threshold. Then, without warning, his brother crossed the line, shattering the fragile piece of our lives. What unfolded next was a harrowing tale that would forever alter the fabric of our family. This is my true story. In the shadowy silence of the house, while my husband toiled away at work, his brother crossed a line that would forever alter the fabric of our lives. In a twist of fate, I found myself ensnared in a web of unforeseen events, as a seemingly ordinary afternoon at home spiraled into a life-altering revelation that I could never have anticipated. The instant my husband stepped out the door for work, a fragile sense of normalcy enveloped me. But that peace shattered with the unexpected arrival of his brother, a shadow looming at the threshold, uninvited and full of unspoken secrets. His presence sent a shiver down my spine, an unsettling whisper in the back of my mind, yet I forced myself to dismiss it, unaware of the storm brewing just beneath the surface. In that moment, the air thickened with tension, and an unexpected twist loomed on the horizon. It was an event so staggering, so unfathomable, that even in this moment, I find myself grappling with disbelief. The atmosphere in the house thickened, a palpable weight pressing down on me. My heart raced wildly, and every fiber of my being screamed for escape. But I was paralyzed, caught in a moment that felt like an eternity. If only I had glimpsed the darkness that lurked within him. Yet, that was merely the prologue to a tale fraught with uncertainty. My name is Clara, and for 5 long years, I have been bound in a marriage with Ethan. He is a relentless force, a man consumed by duty, vanishing into the shadows of dawn and only returning when the night has fully claimed the sky. All for the sake of our survival. Our life together unfolded like a serene tapestry, woven with threads of simplicity and predictability, yet beneath the surface, shadows lurked, whispering of secrets and untold stories, hinting that happiness was but a fragile facade. In a seemingly unremarkable 2-bedroom house, nestled within the shadows of a tranquil neighborhood, our lives unfolded, each day a delicate thread woven into the fabric of an ordinary existence, yet beneath the surface, an unsettling tension simmered, waiting to erupt. It was nothing extraordinary, yet it belonged to us, a fragile treasure in a world that often overlooked the mundane. In the shadows of the ordinary, we found our sanctuary, a place where every heartbeat echoed with the weight of our shared secrets. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the city, Ethan toiled away in the relentless world of construction, his hands calloused and weary. Meanwhile, I remained behind the closed doors of our home, grappling with the chaos of managing a household that seemed to pulse with its own demands, each moment a test of endurance and resolve. It was a routine I had come to rely on, a rhythm that wrapped around me like a comforting shroud, until that fateful day shattered everything. From the shadows of their childhood, Ethan's younger brother Caleb lingered, a constant presence that seemed to weave through the fabric of his life, always just a heartbeat away. He was the antithesis of Ethan, a whirlwind of impulsiveness and unpredictability, forever drawn to the shadows of chaos and danger. In a world where stability reigned supreme, Ethan stood as a beacon of reliability, his steady job a testament to his responsible nature. Yet, lurking in the shadows was Caleb, a restless spirit, forever adrift. He flitted from one fleeting endeavor to the next, never allowing himself to grasp the weight of a job or the tether of commitment, leaving a trail of uncertainty in his wake. Though he bore the weight of blood ties, an unsettling tension clung to the air whenever he was near. I endured his presence, but a shadow of discomfort loomed, whispering secrets I dared not confront. Caleb had an uncanny ability to command attention, his booming voice echoing like thunder, his casual remarks laced with an unsettling edge, and the way his gaze lingered on me, piercing and relentless, as if he were unraveling the very fabric of my secrets. Ethan remained blissfully unaware, or perhaps he chose to dismiss the ominous signs as mere trifles, oblivious to the lurking shadows that whispered of danger. "That's just Caleb," he would say, shaking his head with a laugh, yet in the depths of his gaze, there were fleeting moments that sent a shiver down my spine, igniting a sense of unease that lingered in the air. Yet, the secret lingered in the shadows, unspoken and heavy, a weight that threatened to unravel everything. I tried to convince myself it was all in my head, that I was simply overreacting to shadows lurking in the corners of my mind. Then on a fateful afternoon, the world as we knew it shifted irrevocably. As dawn broke, Ethan slipped away into the shadows of the morning, his departure seemingly ordinary, yet an unsettling tension hung in the air, hinting at the extraordinary fate that awaited him. He pressed his lips gently to my forehead, a fleeting moment that sent shivers down my spine. With a swift motion, he snatched his lunch and strode toward the door, his promise to return late hanging in the air like a fragile thread, leaving me in a whirlwind of uncertainty. The house was shrouded in an eerie silence after he departed, each creak of the floorboards echoing like a whispered secret. I moved through my routine with a sense of unease, tidying the kitchen, folding laundry, all while the distant hum of passing cars outside seemed to grow louder, as if warning me of something lurking just beyond the threshold. As the clock ticked ominously, a sudden chime echoed through the silence. The doorbell rang, shattering the stillness and sending a jolt of anticipation coursing through the air. The door creaked open, and a chill ran down my spine. I was not expecting anyone. My stomach knotted with anticipation as I wiped my hands on the dish towel, each movement heavy with unspoken tension, before I steeled myself and approached the front door. As I pressed my eye against the cold, unyielding surface of the peephole, a chill ran down my spine. There he was, Caleb, looming just outside, hands buried deep in his pockets, swaying ever so slightly on his heels, as if the very air around him crackled with unspoken tension. My heart raced as I stood on the precipice of decision, a storm of uncertainty swirling within me. I hesitated, caught in the grip of an unseen force, the weight of the moment pressing down like a heavy shroud. What lay ahead was shrouded in shadows, and every second stretched into eternity. It was not uncommon for Caleb to appear without warning, yet the sight of him standing there, motionless, almost haunting in his stillness, sent a shiver down my spine and tightened my chest with an unsettling anticipation. A fragile smile flickered across my lips as I slowly turned the handle and pushed the door open, the air thick with anticipation. "Caleb," I commanded, my voice low and tense as I stepped aside, the air thick with unspoken tension. "What brings you to this place, shrouded in mystery?" He shrugged, a shadow crossing his face as he stepped inside, the door creaking ominously behind him, leaving no room for hesitation or retreat. "Just in the neighborhood," he said, his voice dripping with an unsettling nonchalance that sent a shiver down my spine. "I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to see you, to uncover the truth lurking in the shadows of your silence." I shut the door with a decisive thud, my heart racing as I fought to steady my breath. He had crossed the threshold of our home countless times, each visit cloaked in an air of familiarity that now felt unsettling. A shiver crept down my spine, a whisper of doubt that I dared to ignore. There was no reason to feel uneasy, or so I believed, as shadows danced at the edges of my mind, hinting at secrets yet to be unveiled. With each step toward the kitchen, an unsettling chill crept up my spine, the weight of his gaze pressing down on me like a heavy shroud. The air in the room thickened, a palpable tension hanging like a storm cloud, as the silence lingered, stretching into an eternity between us. A palpable tension hung in the air, a whisper of change that sent shivers down the spine. Something was undeniably different. Then, with a voice that trembled like the calm before a storm, he spoke. "In this desolate house, solitude wraps around you like a suffocating shroud, whispering secrets of the shadows that linger in every corner. The silence is deafening, a constant reminder that you are utterly, irrevocably alone. Doesn't that ever gnaw at your very soul?" His words pierced the air, sending an icy shiver racing down my spine, as if a dark omen had just been whispered into existence. I turned to face him, my heart racing as I searched his expression for a hint of humor, but what I found in his eyes was far more unsettling, an intensity that sent shivers down my spine, a depth of emotion I could not quite decipher. And in that fleeting moment, a chilling realization washed over me. A chilling unease hung in the air, a whisper of dread that sent shivers down the spine. Something was terribly wrong. The room constricted around her, the walls looming ominously, as if they were closing in with a sinister intent. My fingers clutched the cold, unforgiving edge of the kitchen counter, a desperate attempt to anchor myself against the storm of chaos swirling within me. Caleb stood in the doorway, a figure cloaked in tension, his arms crossed tightly as his piercing gaze swept the room, finally locking onto me with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. "Do you truly find solace in the silence that envelopes us?" he asked again, his voice a haunting whisper, as if probing the very depths of my resolve. I summoned a smile, though it felt like a mask hiding the turmoil within. "I like it," I declared, my voice a mere whisper against the tension that hung in the air, a fragile facade masking the storm brewing within. "It grants me a fleeting moment, a precious opportunity to accomplish what must be done before the clock strikes and the shadows close in." With a sly smirk curling at the corners of his lips, he advanced deeper into the room, the air thick with tension. "You know, you always seem so Perfectly composed, he said, the chair scraping against the floor as he pulled it out, the sound echoing in the tense silence as he settled into it. The hours stretch endlessly, a haunting silence enveloping the space as anticipation hangs thick in the air. Each tick of the clock echoes like a heartbeat, a reminder of the relentless wait for Ethan's return. Will he come home today? Or will the shadows of uncertainty linger once more? His tone, laced with an unsettling undercurrent, sent a shiver of dread coursing through me. I faced the sink, the cool water cascading over the plate, a futile attempt to mask the turmoil brewing within me. Each drop echoed the urgency of my thoughts as I desperately sought to unravel the unsettling weight of his words that hung in the air like a dark omen. Caleb had always danced on the edge of propriety, his teasing remarks slicing through the air like a knife, his presence looming too close for comfort, igniting an unsettling tension that hung between them like a storm cloud ready to burst. Yet this was unlike anything that had come before. The act was intentional, a calculated move shrouded in mystery. With every ounce of determination, Ethan toils away, while I stand resolutely with my back turned, the tension thick in the air. Yet, a storm brews on the horizon, and the weight of my tasks looms ominously before me. In the stillness, a sudden sound shattered the quiet, the ominous scrape of his chair against the unforgiving tile floor. My heart raced, each beat echoing in the silence, a harbinger of the unknown lurking just beyond the shadows. Have you ever paused, heart racing, to contemplate the chilling possibility of an alternate reality where everything you know is turned upside down? He inquired, his voice laced with an urgency that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. I turned slowly, a knot of dread tightening in my stomach. What do you mean? Caleb leaned forward, his elbows digging into his knees, a storm of thoughts swirling in his mind. His gaze pierced through the shadows, and in that electrifying moment, the truth unveiled itself with chilling clarity. Text the shadow that had perpetually loomed over me, stirring a deep-seated dread within my soul. It was a burning obsession, a relentless pull that could not be ignored. It loomed, a shadowy presence that whispered of secrets untold. His smile danced on his lips, yet it held a chilling edge, a facade that concealed the darkness lurking beneath. If you had chosen another path, someone else to share your life with, he murmured, his voice low and laced with an unsettling precision. If fate had twisted its threads just a little differently and you had found yourself entwined with me. A chilling wave of dread surged within me, gripping my heart with an icy fist. I laughed, yet the sound escaped my lips like a fragile whisper, strained and hollow, echoing the tension that hung in the air. Caleb, stop! I exclaimed, my voice trembling as I fought to maintain a facade of levity, the tension thickening in the air around us. That is far from amusing. His expression remained an unyielding mask, betraying nothing of the storm brewing beneath the surface. Who dares to claim I was jesting? A parching sensation gripped my throat, as if the very air had conspired to steal away my voice. I recoiled, the sharp edge of the counter digging into my hip, a sudden jolt of reality crashing over me. The air around us thickened, the distance that once seemed ample now suffocatingly narrow. Text, I believe you must leave, I declared with unwavering resolve. Caleb stood frozen, a statue caught in the grip of an unseen force. He scrutinized me, his head tilting ever so slightly, as if searching for secrets hidden within my gaze. What has driven you to behave in such a bewildering manner? He inquired, a hint of amusement lacing his voice, as if the very question held a secret yet to be unveiled. Words spill from my lips, a mere whisper in the shadows, yet they carry the weight of unspoken truths and hidden fears. No, I uttered, my voice trembling with an intensity that echoed the weight of the moment. You are far from it. His smile vanished, giving way to a shadow of gravity that hung in the air, thick with unspoken tension. He rose to his feet, each deliberate step toward me echoing with an unsettling intensity. With a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins, I reached behind me, my hand trembling as it gripped the edge of the counter. My fingers grazed the cold steel of a knife, ominously resting in the dish rack, a silent promise of danger lurking just out of sight. Caleb felt a shiver run down his spine as he noticed the subtle shift in the air around him, a tension that hinted at secrets lurking just beyond his grasp. His gaze darted to my hand, a fleeting moment of tension hanging in the air, before locking onto my face with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. For a fleeting moment, a spark of hope ignited within me as I braced for words that could shatter the silence and propel us into uncharted territory. But then, with a sharp exhale that sliced through the tension, he retreated, leaving the air thick with unspoken possibilities. Relax, he urged, his hands raised in a faint gesture of surrender, the tension in the air thickening with every heartbeat. I was merely toying with your emotions, weaving a web of uncertainty around you. Silence enveloped the room, heavy and suffocating. I stood there paralyzed, my heart racing as the weight of the unspoken words hung in the air. The moment stretched, a taut string ready to snap, and still I remained unyielding, my lips sealed tight against the tempest brewing within me. I fixed my gaze upon him, my heart pounding violently against my ribcage. In that moment, the air thickened with tension, a silence so profound it felt as though the world held its breath. He reached into his pocket, fingers trembling slightly as they closed around the cold metal of his keys. With a deliberate calmness, he turned and strode toward the door, each step echoing like a heartbeat in the stillness, leaving behind an unsettling question that lingered in the shadows. "I will see you around," he murmured, casting a fleeting glance back before disappearing into the shadows of the night. The door clicked shut, echoing through the silence like a gunshot in the night, sealing away the secrets that lay beyond its threshold. I stood paralyzed, each breath a desperate whisper escaping my lips. The house loomed ominously, its very essence now corrupted, as if shadows whispered secrets of a dark past. I secured the door with a decisive click, the sound echoing in the silence as I twisted the deadbolt, my hands quaking with a mix of fear and adrenaline. Deep down, a flicker of hope ignited within me, whispering that this was the conclusion, that his taunts were mere shadows meant to unsettle my peace. Yet, a chilling doubt crept in, gnawing at my resolve, urging me to question if I was truly overreacting or if something far more sinister lurked beneath the surface. Yet, beneath the surface, an unsettling truth clawed at my mind, for the haunting gaze in his eyes whispered secrets I dared not ignore. The battle had only just begun. That night, sleep eluded me, a haunting specter lurking just beyond my reach. Every heartbeat echoed in my mind as I relived the haunting moments of my encounter with Caleb. The way he loomed just a breath away, the chilling drop in his voice as he whispered, the sinister smirk curling at the corners of his lips. It was far more than a mere jest. It was a harbinger of something darker lurking just beneath the surface. It was unlike anything ever witnessed before. Ethan stumbled through the door, the weight of the world pressing down on him, his exhaustion palpable in the dim light of the hallway. He pressed his lips against my forehead, his words a mere whisper lost in the air, before he crumpled onto the couch like a marionette with severed strings. I felt the weight of the secret pressing against my chest, a tempest of emotion swirling within me. The moment hung in the air, thick with anticipation, as I prepared to reveal the truth that could change everything. I wanted to tell him, but fear gripped my heart, and the shadows of uncertainty loomed large. Every instinct within me roared, urging me to break the suffocating silence, to unleash the words that trembled on the edge of my lips. But what words could possibly escape my lips? Caleb stood at the precipice of his own existence, a shadow of inaction looming over him. He had not done anything, not really, but the weight of that silence hung heavy in the air, pregnant with unspoken possibilities and the haunting echoes of choices left unmade. What if, in a chilling twist of fate, Ethan cast it aside once more, leaving everything hanging in the balance? In that moment, silence enveloped me like a thick fog, heavy and suffocating. I chose to remain still, my heart racing, the weight of unspoken words hanging in the air, a tension that crackled like electricity. What lay beneath the surface was a tempest, but I said nothing. Yet, the silence lingered, heavy and oppressive, refusing to be banished into the shadows. The next morning, I awoke to an unsettling silence that hung in the air like a thick fog, wrapping around me with an ominous chill. Ethan had vanished into the morning mist, his departure shrouded in an unsettling silence. I whispered to myself, a fragile promise echoing in the shadows that I would be fine. But deep within, a storm brewed, threatening to unravel the very fabric of my resolve. I would secure the doors, immerse myself in tasks, and fight against the unsettling dread that slithered through my very bones. Suddenly, the doorbell pierced the silence, echoing through the stillness like a harbinger of fate. A tempest brewed within my stomach, twisting into agonizing knots of dread. I felt the weight of the moment, an unshakable tension in the air, compelling me to resist the urge to glance. The unknown loomed, a shadowy presence that whispered secrets I dared not uncover. The moment I laid eyes on the figure, a chill ran down my spine. I knew who it was, and the weight of that realization hung heavy in the air, thick with tension and unspoken truths. Caleb. The name echoed in the shadows, a whisper that sent chills down the spine. What secrets lay hidden behind that single syllable? The air thickened with tension, as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting for the next move in this unfolding drama. Time seemed to stand still, and the world outside faded into oblivion. Caleb was more than just a name. It was a harbinger of fate, a catalyst for the storm that was about to break. My hands trembled violently as I gripped my phone, the weight of uncertainty pressing down on me like a heavy fog. Should I feign my absence, cloaked in silence as the shadows creep closer? The weight of the decision hangs heavy in the air, each heartbeat echoing the tension of the moment. What lurks outside, waiting for a sign? The choice is mine, but the consequences could be dire. Should I dare to call Ethan? Another ring echoed through the silence, followed by a sudden, jarring knock that shattered the stillness. I inhaled sharply, battling the tremor in my voice as I fought to maintain my composure. Caleb, you must leave now. The air hung heavy with an unsettling stillness, a silence so profound it seemed to pulse with anticipation, as if the world itself was holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable storm to break. Then his voice emerged, calm yet laced with an unsettling amusement, sending shivers down the spine. Clara, please. You must open the door. Time is slipping away, and the shadows are closing in. My throat tightened, a heavy weight settling within me. Absolutely not. A heavy silence lingered in the air, stretching out like a taut string, poised to snap at any moment. Suddenly, the doorknob began to rattle ominously, sending a chill down the spine. A wave of panic crashed over me, threatening to engulf my very being. The door had been secured. The key turned with a finality that echoed in the silence of the night. In that moment, a chilling realization washed over me. I was certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that I had. Yet, the chilling echo of metal clicking ignited a wild tempest within my veins, sending my heart racing into a chaotic frenzy. I lunged forward, my body slamming against the door, a desperate attempt to hold back the impending darkness that threatened to invade my sanctuary. Caleb, stop! I shouted, my voice echoing with urgency, slicing through the thick tension in the air. His laughter echoed through the dimly lit room, a sound that sent shivers down spines and raised the hairs on the back of necks. It was a laugh that hinted at secrets untold, a chilling reminder that not all was as it seemed. Inhale deeply, let the tension slip away, and surrender to the stillness that beckons you. The world outside fades, and a profound calm envelopes you, whispering secrets of tranquility. Embrace the moment, for within this serene embrace lies the power to transform your very being. I have something urgent to share, something that weighs heavily on my mind. The air is thick with tension, and the moment feels charged with unspoken words. Please, let's not let this opportunity slip away. The doorknob twisted once more with a force that sent a shiver down the spine. A chilling wave of dread washed over me, a sickening realization clawing at the edges of my mind. In his trembling hand he clutched a key, its cold metal glinting ominously in the dim light. What secrets lay behind the door it would unlock? The air thickened with anticipation, each heartbeat echoing the weight of the unknown. Time seemed to stand still as he prepared to confront whatever darkness awaited him beyond that threshold. My heart raced as I stumbled backward, the ominous sound of the lock clicking open echoing in the stillness, sending a chill down my spine. The door groaned ominously as Caleb crossed the threshold, sealing himself within the shadows that awaited him. A primal instinct clawed at my very core, urging me to flee, yet my legs remained frozen, paralyzed by an unseen force. He loomed before me, an unsettling calmness enveloping him, a smile that sent shivers down my spine. You look terrified, he whispered, his voice dripping with an unsettling intensity. My heart thundered violently against my ribs, each beat echoing the rising tension within me. You must go, I urged, my voice trembling like a fragile leaf caught in a tempest. He advanced with a deliberate, measured step, each movement heavy with anticipation. Why must the shadows whisper their secrets, leaving us in a web of uncertainty? What lies beneath the surface, waiting to be unveiled? The question hangs in the air, heavy with anticipation as the truth teeters on the brink of revelation. Ethan is nowhere to be found. Only we remain, shrouded in the shadows of uncertainty. I clutched my phone with a ferocity that drained the color from my knuckles, a storm of tension brewing within me. A call must be made, the urgency clawing at my insides. A decision looms before me, heavy with consequence. I must act, but the weight of uncertainty hangs in the air, thick and palpable. What will I choose? Time is slipping away, and the moment for action is now. I can feel the tension building, urging me forward into the unknown. He edged forward, the air thick with tension. Text, I know you feel it too, he whispered, his voice barely breaking the heavy silence that enveloped them. The potential for change looms like a shadow, whispering of possibilities that could alter the very fabric of existence. A wave of unease crashed over me, twisting my insides with a sudden gut-wrenching force. Halt! I command you! This is utterly madness. His hand stretched out, trembling with an urgency that sent shivers down my spine. I fled with a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins. I raced toward the kitchen, my heart pounding in my chest like a war drum, each beat echoing the urgency of the moment. With a swift motion, I wrenched the drawer open, my heart racing as my fingers grasped the cold, metallic handle of a knife, its edge glinting ominously in the dim light. Caleb halted in his tracks, a storm of emotions swirling across his face. For the first time, a shadow danced across his face, igniting a spark of uncertainty that sent chills down my spine. In the stillness of the moment, a sudden twist unfurls, shattering the calm with an unexpected revelation. The air thickens with anticipation as the heart races, caught in the grip of the unforeseen. What lies ahead is cloaked in mystery, waiting to be unveiled. "You are overreacting," he said, his hands shooting up in a desperate plea, the tension thickening in the air around them. My fingers clenched around the knife, heart racing, each breath a desperate gasp in the thickening tension. "Leave now." A suffocating silence loomed ominously between us, thick with unspoken words and unyielding tension. His gaze deepened with shadows, a storm brewing within, yet after a heartbeat that felt like an eternity, he retreated, the tension crackling in the air. With a heavy heart, he whispered, "Fine. Do you dare to enter this treacherous game? Proceed if you dare." With a swift motion, he pivoted on his heel and stormed out, the door crashing shut with a thunderous bang that echoed through the silence. I stood there, the cold steel of the knife biting into my palm, my entire body trembling with a mix of fear and anticipation. The battle raged on, a relentless storm of uncertainty and dread. It was far from over. A chilling realization gripped me. This was far from the end. For the first time, an icy dread coursed through my veins, leaving me haunted by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. As the door crashed shut, a chilling silence enveloped the room, and my legs gave way beneath me. I found myself pressed against the cold, unyielding counter, my breath escaping in desperate, shallow gasps, each one a reminder of the tension that hung thick in the air. The knife in my hand weighed down like a dark secret, yet I clung to it with a fierce determination that defied all reason. My entire body quaked with the remnants of adrenaline, each heartbeat echoing the chaos that had just unfolded. My mind raced, grappling with the haunting images of what had transpired. Caleb possessed a key, a small object that held the weight of untold secrets and the promise of hidden doors waiting to be unlocked. What lay beyond those doors? The air crackled with tension as he contemplated the possibilities, each one more thrilling and dangerous than the last. The mere whisper of that thought sent a shiver racing down my spine, igniting a primal fear that clawed at my very soul. How long had it been in his possession, lurking in the shadows of his mind? Was it Ethan who handed it over to him, or was there something more sinister at play? But had he truly seized it? I willed my body to stir, each muscle screaming in protest as I fought against the suffocating weight of inertia. I dashed to the door, my heart racing as I twisted the lock, my hands trembling as I double-checked, then triple-checked, every sound amplifying the tension in the air. With a surge of adrenaline coursing through my veins, I seized a chair, my heart pounding in my chest, and forcefully wedged it under the handle, sealing my fate in that moment of desperate defiance. My hands trembled uncontrollably, a storm of uncertainty raging within me, yet I knew I had to find the truth, no matter the cost. The silence in the house hung heavy, a palpable weight that pressed against the walls, suffocating and ominous. My ears were on high alert, poised for the slightest sound of Caleb's return, the echo of footsteps creeping closer, the door handle trembling with anticipation once more. Yet, in the suffocating silence, there was an unsettling void, an absence that echoed with the weight of unspoken truths. A sense of urgency gripped me. I was on the brink of a decision that could change everything. I had to act and fast. The moment had come. I had to confront Ethan. The weight of the truth hung heavy in the air, a storm brewing just beneath the surface, waiting to unleash its fury. With trembling fingers, I dialed his number, my heart racing as the phone rang, each tone echoing like a countdown to an uncertain fate. The phone rang once, twice, and then fell ominously into silence, the voicemail looming like a dark shadow, waiting to be unleashed. I released a breath, the air escaping my lungs like a whisper of dread, my fingers clutching the phone with a ferocity that sent pain shooting through my knuckles. Should I dare to leave a message? Should I linger in the shadows of uncertainty, or dare to step into the unknown? The clock ticks ominously, each second a reminder of the choice that looms before me. What lies ahead if I choose to wait? Or will the moment slip away, forever lost in the abyss of hesitation? The tension thickens and the air crackles with the anticipation was unbearable. In a moment of hesitation, my fingers danced across the keyboard, crafting a message that would change everything. The air thickened with anticipation as each word took shape, a silent storm brewing within me. My hands trembled above the screen, caught in a moment of uncertainty that felt like an eternity. How could I possibly articulate the chaos that had just unfolded before my eyes? Would Ethan trust my words, or would doubt cloud his mind like a storm on the horizon? In the dim light of the room, Caleb clutched a key, its cold metal glinting ominously. What secrets did it unlock? What dangers lurked beyond the door it would open? The air was thick with tension, and every heartbeat echoed the weight of the unknown. The moment of truth was at hand. He stepped through the threshold, the air thick with anticipation. My eyes lingered on the words, a heavy silence enveloping me as I hovered over the send button, the weight of the moment pressing down like a storm about to break. My heart raced, each beat echoing in the silence as I stared at the screen, anticipation gripping me tightly, yearning for those 3 little dots to finally emerge. Yet in the suffocating silence there was nothing. An emptiness that echoed through the shadows, leaving a chilling void where hope once flickered. I choked back my mounting frustration, a tempest brewing within, threatening to erupt at any moment. Perhaps he was ensnared in the clutches of time, unable to break free. Perhaps he remained blissfully unaware, oblivious to the looming shadows that threatened to engulf him. Yet I found myself unable to remain idle, the weight of inaction pressing heavily upon my chest. I had to ensure that Caleb would never return, no matter the cost. I crept through the shadows of the house, my heart pounding as I scrutinized each window, each lock, feeling the weight of unseen eyes watching my every move. With every heartbeat, my paranoia swelled, tightening its grip like a vice, as shadows danced menacingly around me. Had he ever crossed the threshold of this place before? Was he lurking in the shadows, his gaze fixed upon me, unseen and unfelt? The thought sent a shiver down my spine. A chilling surge of panic coursed through my veins, gripping my heart with an iron fist. Then, like a thunderclap in the stillness, another realization struck me. What dark force held Caleb at bay, preventing him from returning whenever he wished, despite possessing the key that could unlock the door to his past? A knot tightened in my stomach, a foreboding sensation that something was amiss. The urgency clawed at me, a relentless whisper in the shadows. I had to escape this place and fast. With a swift motion, I snatched my purse, my keys clinking ominously, and my phone buzzing with unspoken urgency. Just as I reached the threshold of the front door, a sudden vibration from my phone pierced the silence, sending a jolt of anticipation through me. Ethan, what is happening? What are you saying? A tidal wave of relief surged through me, crashing over the tumultuous waves of anxiety that had threatened to drown me. In that moment, the weight of uncertainty lifted, leaving only the exhilarating rush of newfound hope in its wake. I responded in a flash, my heart racing as I hit send. It is I, standing at the precipice of fate, where shadows dance and whispers linger in the air. Caleb possesses a key to our house, a seemingly innocuous detail that now hangs heavy with unspoken tension and uncertainty. He slipped through the door, uninvited and unnoticed, as shadows danced around him, cloaking his intentions in a veil of uncertainty. He stood there, unwavering, a shadow in the dim light, refusing to budge. The tension crackled in the air, thick and suffocating, until desperation clawed at me, forcing my hand to grasp the cold steel of the knife. Only then did the atmosphere shift, a silent acknowledgement of the perilous brink we teetered upon. In an electrifying moment, the 3 dots flickered into existence, only to vanish into the shadows, before re-emerging with an unsettling intensity. My heart raced like a storm, each beat echoing in the silence, a harbinger of the unknown lurking just beyond the shadows. Ethan, are you truly serious right now? It is I, standing at the precipice of fate, where shadows dance and whispers linger in the air, beckoning the unknown. The weight of destiny rests upon my shoulders, and the world holds its breath, waiting for the next move. What lies ahead is shrouded in mystery, and I am the one who must unravel it. What could possibly drive me to weave a falsehood in this moment? The silence stretched on, heavy and suffocating, as time seemed to stand still. In that moment, everything shifted. Ethan, the name echoed in the shadows, a whisper that sent chills down the spine. What secrets lay hidden beneath that single word? The air thickened with tension, as if the very walls were holding their breath, waiting for the next move in a game where stakes were life and death. Who was he? What had he done? The answers lingered just out of reach, tantalizingly close yet shrouded in darkness. He slipped into my life uninvited, a shadow lurking in the corners of my mind. I never gave him a key, yet somehow he found a way to unlock the darkest secrets I thought were hidden forever. The words pierced the air, sending a chilling wave of dread coursing through my veins. I collapsed onto the couch, the world around me swirling in a dizzying chaos. The chilling realization struck like a bolt of lightning. If Ethan had never entrusted him with a key, then Caleb must have resorted to darker means, either stealing it or crafting a replica in the shadows. The walls of my home, once a sanctuary of safety and familiarity, now loomed like a sinister trap, closing in with every heartbeat. My phone vibrated once more, sending a jolt of anticipation coursing through me. Ethan, I am returning home. And the air crackles with anticipation. Under no circumstances should you dare to open that door for anyone. Trust me, the consequences could be dire. I released a breath, trembling with uncertainty. A chilling unease gripped me. Despite the knowledge that Ethan was racing toward me, his presence meant to shield me from the encroaching darkness. Yet, I refrained, because lurking in the shadows of my mind, a chilling certainty gripped me. Caleb was far from done, and the uncertainty of his next move sent shivers down my spine. I perched on the edge of the couch, my fingers clenched tightly around my phone, heart racing as I anticipated Ethan's arrival, the moment hanging in the air like a taut string ready to snap. With each agonizing tick of the clock, time seemed to elongate, the oppressive silence within the house wrapping around me like a shroud. My mind surged with a torrent of questions, each one more haunting than the last, lingering in the shadows of uncertainty, taunting me with their elusive answers. How long had Caleb been meticulously weaving this intricate web of deception? Had he been lurking in the shadows of my sanctuary, aware that the door was always ajar for him to step inside at any moment? Had I turned a blind eye to the ominous signals for far too long? As Ethan crossed the threshold, a palpable tension filled the air, and I could see the storm of worry brewing in his eyes, a silent testament to the weight he carried with him. He secured the door with a decisive click, his gaze darting back to ensure it was sealed tight, just as I had done mere moments before, a chill creeping down my spine. He stood there, the weight of the world pressing down on him, his work boots still caked with the remnants of the day's toil. The air was thick with unspoken tension, a silent testament to the choices that lay ahead. In that electrifying moment, he yanked me into his embrace, his grip fierce and unyielding, as if the world around us had faded into oblivion. "You will never return to this place again." Ethan's voice, low and urgent, brushed against my hair, a promise laced with an unspoken tension. "I swear to you." Deep within the shadows of doubt, I yearned to trust him. Desperation gnawed at my insides as I yearned for the elusive sensation of safety, yet the shadows of fear wrapped around me like a suffocating shroud. As darkness enveloped the world outside, we took a decisive step into the unknown, changing the locks. Each click echoed like a heartbeat, a harbinger of the secrets we were sealing away, and the shadows whispered of what lay beyond our newfound barrier. Each and every one. With a trembling hand, Ethan sent a message to Caleb, delivering the chilling news that he was no longer welcome in our home. The weight of those words hung heavy in the air, a harbinger of the storm that was about to unfold. In the stillness of the moment, a chilling silence enveloped the air. No heated exchanges, no fiery clashes, only the weight of a solitary warning hung like a dark cloud, foreboding and ominous. Yet, beneath the surface of my thoughts, an unsettling truth lingered. This was far from the end. For individuals like Caleb, the act of walking away is not an option. It is a choice fraught with tension and unspoken consequences. Days slipped away, morphing into weeks, each moment heavy with unspoken tension. I moved through my days, wearing the mask of normalcy, yet the shadows of paranoia clung to me like a relentless specter, never allowing me a moment's peace. Every shadow lurking outside the window, every sudden sound sent my heart into a frantic dance, echoing the tension that hung thick in the air. With each passing moment, I felt an unsettling urge to inspect the locks, my heart racing even under the unforgiving glare of the sun. And in those haunting moments, I could almost sense a pair of eyes lurking in the shadows, fixated on me with an intensity that sent chills down my spine. Perhaps it was merely a figment of my mind, a whisper of uncertainty lurking in the shadows, teasing the edges of reality. Perhaps, just perhaps, Caleb had finally grasped the weight of the unspoken and chosen to walk away, leaving behind a silence that echoed with unanswered questions. Or perhaps he lingered in the shadows, biding his time, poised for that perfect moment to strike. The thought lingers in the shadows of my mind, a relentless specter that refuses to fade away. What would you do if the very foundation of your trust crumbled before your eyes, exposing the chilling truth of who they truly are? What if the very soul you once embraced as family transformed into the embodiment of your deepest fears? And what if, just one fateful day, they returned? Engage, Share your thoughts and join our community for more gripping tales from the real world that will leave you breathless and yearning for more.